What is up, my Squirtlei's the Desire King? Welcoming you back to more Let's Play Pokemon White. In the last episode, we took down the gym leader, Elisa, receiving the Bolt Badge for our troubles. We can take a look at that really quickly within the trainer menu. Boom! Half the badges done. In this episode, we're going to finally be departing from Nimbasa City, but instead of heading out where we're supposed to go, which is Route 5, and where we're going to meet Elisa, we're going to be heading this way. This is Route 16, and there's actually, I think, a person in the gate I want to talk to. Let's train Pokemon vigorously. You who like training and you who don't like training, let's train our Pokemon by giving them these, and this is a Macho Brace. A Macho Brace is a more general all-purpose item that increases the EVs that you get. I believe it doubles the EVs you get from every Pokemon that you defeat, while also reducing the speed of the Pokemon holding it. So you want to get some extra EV training done in the early game. That's the way to do it. You can do more targeted EV training by getting the items from the Battle Subway, but obviously that's not really something you can do all that easily until you get into the post-game. I mean, you can try, and it's not like impossible or anything. It's just a lot more difficult when you don't have a dedicated team put together. But welcome to Route 16, everybody. There are a few trainers out here that we're going to be battling right off the bat, and I actually shouldn't have jumped into that fight first, because I do want to talk about some of the new Pokemon that can be gotten out here, which there are several, as a matter of fact. But I guess we'll fight this Herdier first before we do anything else. This route also connects to a new area, or another area that we're going to be going in very, very soon, and we'll talk about that once we get there. But let's start by taking out this thing really quickly. Yes, please, waste a turn on workup. I appreciate that. Should be able to two-shot you no problem, and you're actually going to be worth a fair bit of experience. But yeah, we don't want to leave all these trainers until later, because yes, this route does lead to a place we can't get to until much, much later in the game. But these trainers are leveled for where you're supposed to be at when you reach Nimbasa, so there's no point in just saving them for later. Anyways, here on Route 16, there are a lot of new Pokemon that can be gotten, and a couple of them are even version exclusive. So let's talk about Gothita and Solosis, which are the version exclusive ones, as well as Minccino, Trubbish, and Emolga. Gothita is a Psychic-type Pokemon exclusive to Black version that evolves into Gothorita at level 32 and again into Gothitelle at level 41. This is a very well-rounded defensive specialist with a middling speed stat that isn't quite as terrible as something like Solosis nor the Munna family, but it will still lag behind in a lot of battles speed-wise. The biggest problem with this Pokemon is how one-dimensional it is from a moveset standpoint, learning plenty of Psychic-type moves to take advantage of its special attack and its same-type attack bonus, but as far as TMs and other moves are concerned, it's kind of restricted to a lot of physical moves, which you do not want on this Pokemon. It doesn't do much more than just do Psychic well, which is unfortunate because of how attractive its stats are when fully evolved. And if I'm going to be consistent, I have to draw attention to that level 41 requirement for Gothitelle, which is sort of a big ask. Heck, just getting it to Gothorita can be a lot more trouble than it's worth, unfortunately. Solosis is a Psychic-type Pokemon exclusive to White version that evolves into Duosion at level 32 and again into Rhea-Nicholas at level 41. This thing is much less balanced in the stats department than Gothitelle, but in all the best ways. Its 30 speed stat is the biggest issue, meaning it's likely to go last, but with merely average defensive stats and a very high HP stat to offset it, it should survive plenty of hits thrown its way to dish out that awesome 125 base special attack. To make matters even better, this stat is already insanely high even when it's just a little Solosis, with a 105 special attack that allows it to really hold its own in the early stages. It's just about getting around that speed, which is the same problem you'll run into with the Munna family. As soon as you gain access to Trick Room, however, for as long as that takes, that problem is instantly gone, and between its stats, the moves it learns upon leveling up, and its access to a much wider range of good TMs than Gothitelle, this is the better pure Psychic type you can get, and honestly the best out of the three available up to this point, in my opinion. Minccino is a pure normal-type Pokemon that evolves into Cinccino when exposed to a Shiny Stone. This is a pretty balanced Pokemon who really doesn't work all that well without its hidden ability, Skill Link. On its own, it's a pretty basic mid-tier normal type that can get some work done with Technician, but is far outclassed by plenty of other normal types, including the Lillipup family, which you can get much earlier in the game. Its overall defensive stats are pretty below average, its attack is just above average, and its speed is good, but none of that is enough to make it worth adding to your team without, again, its hidden ability that ensures that all multi-hit moves such as Tail Slap and Rock Blast always hit 5 times. Trubbish is a pure Poison-type Pokemon that evolves into Garbodor at level 36. Do not let this thing's looks deceive you, because this is about as well-rounded as a Mono-type Pokemon can get. Even though none of its stats are individually exceptional, it's a very good defensive wall for any team with its combination of defense and HP, as well as its range of setup moves and access to Toxic via its Learn set. It also has a physical attack stat that's nothing to sneeze at, and its speed stat is honestly about average. If you're looking for a good poison type, I honestly think this is one of your best bets in this generation. As always, that monotyping can be a bit of an issue in terms of variety across your team, but Generation 5 continues to pleasantly surprise with its single type Pokemon more than most other generations. Amalga is an electric and flying type Pokemon that does not evolve. This is a speedy quick hitter that's really only good for being thrown into battle, delivering a hit, and bailing. Its overall base stats are very poor, and its speed stat is only above average as opposed to excellent. Its defenses are so bad that it will very likely be two-shot at best, and its best application is either using Nuzzle to paralyze something before escaping, or simply using Volt Switch to hit and run. Honestly, you're much better off sticking with Zebstrika for a solid electrical spot on your team, as I can't see a real reason to try and make Amalga work on your team other than that it's cute as heck. Not to mention, even more interesting electric types will be available to us later on in the game. All right, and now with all of that said, I know that was a lot of Pokemon to go over. Let's continue. So this is that bio right there, that series of bios is kind of the main reason why I'm a little bit worried we're not going to get everything done in this episode that I wanted to. There's a lot to go over in this area and also the subsequent area, so do forgive me, but I wanted to get that out of the way here because actually Route 16's Pokemon has complete overlap with Route 5's Pokemon, so I get to talk about them here, and then I don't have to talk about them when we go over there. So Galthita, Solosis, Minccino, Trubbish, Amalga, all of those can also be encountered for the first time on Route 5 if you just want to go directly that way first, so something to keep in mind. Okay, I'll just keep Liepard out. Yeah, or Liepard out. I'll keep Naz out for Liepard, excuse me. I know it's a dark type, but Liepard isn't capable of learning too many really strong dark type moves. That's the most annoying thing Liepard can get right there is Fake Out, which is just free damage for a turn. Mostly Liepard at this stage can only really learn Pursuit, which, yeah, it's okay damage, but it's not too bad. You don't really have to worry about, like, I think it gets Feint Attack much later, but for such an okay move to not get it until much later is a little bit silly. But there we go. And I don't think there's a single hidden item on this route either. There is... Ooh, I can use Strength now, though. But I don't know. I don't really have any Pokemon that I can teach it to. Well, I'll take a look. Maybe I can teach it to Zebstrika, actually. Because if that's the case, then I can forego teaching it to my Servine. I almost said Seviper. That is not in this game. It is one of the few unevolved monotypes I wouldn't mind using, although definitely the weaker of the two in its pairing. Zangoose is definitely the better one. All right, let's give it a look, because I would not mind actually pushing my way past here to get myself some stuff. So boot it up in HM. Let's teach it to... No, only... Wow, Crush is able to learn it. Interesting. Let's take a look. Ooh, I have Crunch, Ancient Power, and Brine. You know what? I think I'm going to get rid of Brine. I know he just learned it, but yeah, let's get rid of that. And I'm actually not too worried about this because we're only a few towns away from being able to delete HMs as well. So let's do it. We got the Dark Grass over here, so do keep that in mind. There may be a hidden item over this way. I'm going to pull out this. Well, actually, I probably should throw on Repels first before I get anything else going. There you are. Super Repels. Time to finally start using those. I have a ton to go around. And Super Repels are honestly super cost effective because they're only 50 less steps than Max Repels, but not 20% less expensive than Max Repels, if that makes sense. Ooh, Swadloon. Interesting. It's funny. We've seen so many Sawaddles and even a Levanti, but we've never seen a Swadloon before this point, which I think is... That's interesting. We'll be running into more of those soon, though. Don't you worry. But I just think it's hilarious. That was the very first one. But now that we have Strength, there's actually a few things we can get, but we're not going to be backtracking to go and push all of those Strength rocks out of the way for some time. Right there, TM66 Payback. Payback is a very good Dark-type move, and actually, I am going to check and see if Crush can learn that thing, because that could honestly be super beneficial to him. Payback is a move that has a base power of 50, which doesn't seem all that great, but if the Pokemon goes second, aka if they're slower, it has a base power of 100, which is almost always going to be the case for Crush. No, Crush cannot learn it. Dang it, I was really hoping so, but that is not the case. Anyways, let's continue to head on up here. And this is the way that leads into the other area we're going. If we continue to head down the road to the right, that is where we are dead-ended. There's a couple of guys blocking it saying, the bridge is out and you can't proceed this way. And so we're just not going to even bother with that. We're just going to continue to head up this path and seeing what waits us on the other end, if there is anything of note. But nice to be able to get a TM that early. Luckily, Drillbur's special defenses are pathetic. And there we go. All right, now let's proceed upward. And, ooh, looks like we need Cut to get to this. Well, it's a good thing I still have Patrat with me. That is the reason you are here. And what do we got up this way? We got a rare candy. Now, I am saving these rare candies for the explicit purpose of evolving Crush when he gets close to level 37. So when he's at, as of right now, once he gets to level 35, we should be good. But welcome to Lostlorn Forest, everybody. Lostlorn Forest has a myriad of items that you can get in here. Not a ton, but at least some. And also, it's got rustling grass. And I said before in the playthrough that anytime we run into rustling grass, I am going to check it out. So give me a second. Not what I was expecting to find in here. Holy crap, that's a Lilligant. Not the Pokemon I was hoping to run into Audino, but no, that is actually not the case. Okay, well, I guess this is a good time to mention that the thing about Lostlorn Forest at this stage in the game, and I don't think I can actually get the hidden item here because we have to get up to it later. At this stage in the game, you can actually get yourself a lot of evolved Pokemon in this area. So you can catch all of, I believe you can catch, what is it? I don't think there's anything special in the regular grass, but in the rustling grass, you can get Lilligant, you can get Swadloon, you can get Tranquil, you can even get Levani, you can run into the monkeys, and on this lower level, I think you can run into Pansage and Panpour and whatnot, but on the upper level, you can run into things like Simisage and Simipour and whatnot, and then you can also even find wild Unpheasants, which is the final evolved form of Tranquil and Pidove. So, pretty insane Pokemon that you can get in here. It's the main reason to come here, just get Pokemon that are already evolved. And yeah, you know, there are people in the world with many different values. Some people enjoy things you might not think are fun. Having a lot of different values in the world makes it a richer place. That's what I think anyway. I really enjoy traveling on the world and talking with different people, but the woman who lives here seems to think living quietly by herself is important. Now, are you saying that in a scrutinizing tone, or are you just pointing it out? Guess we'll find out. Hello, ma'am. You don't really have anything to say, do you? Well, I suppose I'll leave you be then. We might need to come back here at another time, especially when we have more access to this area. But for right now, it looks like there's not really much we can do here. So I'll just leave this lady be. There's definitely more of Lostlorn Forest that we will be able to discover later on, particularly when we have a certain HM that allows us to travel to further places. But for now, we'll just say goodbye to that. And now we can head on over to Route 5. And I just decided to make pretty much a beeline straight for it. We are going to be running into a lot of trainers in this next area, so that is worth mentioning. But here we go. All right. As soon as we get here, Cheren is going to stop us. Levi, stop. You've got a Bolt Badge. I've got a Bolt Badge. Let's test who's stronger, you or me. This time, I'm going to win. If you say so, let's begin. This is why you want to make sure that you get ready for this. I mean, Naz is really in a state where he's going to be fine, but let's see what are you starting off with Liepard again? Okay, so we're going to just be using Air Cutter on you. Not going to be too worried about this. And I still don't have Reflect, so that's not going to do me any good either, but at least this should be enough experience to get Naz to level up. There's that obligatory fake out. Yeah. Okay, we should be good. I think he'll be able to survive at least one pursuit. Unless that misses, that complicates the matters just a little bit. All right, well, fine. I will use a Lemonade. Okay, yeah, that's the other thing, is they gave you the last used item, so I probably should just be taking advantage of that more often. But there you go. And Liepard uses Pursuit again. That's going to be kind of annoying to deal with. I mean, it's a fair bit of damage, you know, a third of my health every single frickin' time, so I only got a couple chances to get these Air Cutters off. But, oh, Torment. Oh, you sneaky. That is actually really, really mean. Well, if you're going to do that, then I'm going to get a tailwind off. Now try to outspeed me. Yeah, it's not happening. All right, another pursuit. There we go. And now that we have speed on our side, let's try another air cutter here. Take out this Lipard. And then we may continue. So Tailwind is going to last for I believe 5 turns, which is pretty good. Crush gets some more experience. Then we got Pansage. Okay, I will stick with Naz for this one. Interesting that was your next choice. I would figure that would be the last thing you'd throw out here. Oh yeah, and I can't use the same move twice. Screw it, just use Psybeam. Maybe that's why. It's because he's like, haha, you can't use a flying move, so that means that you're bad, but I can still do that to you, so although that hurts. Let's try another air cutter. Down you go. Hang in there, Naz. You're doing a great job. I believe in you. And now, there goes the Tailwind. Okay, so it was only 3 turns. I'm going to actually keep Naz out for this one because Pignite does have a fighting type, and we still should have the speed advantage. So let's see if Psybeam can one-shot this thing. If it doesn't, oh well. I'm not going to lose too much sleep over it. Oh! That was painful. That was actually painful to watch. I cannot believe it. You were so close. And that was more damage than what Air Cutter would have done. If we had gotten the crit, that would have been awesome, but dang. All right, well, I am going to switch to Crush here. I know this thing is packing fighting type moves, but I'm just going to use Aqua Jet. We're going to try to take this thing out immediately. Should be able to finish it off with a super effective water move. Why not? And down you go. It's a lot of experience for Crush. That's the main reason I wanted to do that. And for the last Pokemon, we've got Tranquil. You know what? I'm going to keep Crush out. I know that all we've got is Rock-type moves, or a special Rock-type move, but I'm still going to use it as many times as I can because I don't think this Tranquil can do all that much to Crush. What with his defenses and whatnot. I mean, his special defenses are lower, but yeah, he still resists that pretty darn well. And like I said, he has Solid Rock. I think the other ability is Swift Swim, which it has its places, but I'm not going for like a Rain Dance team here, so I don't really need it that badly. So I'm pretty much satisfied with Solid Rock. Reducing the damage of super effective moves is really helpful. It basically makes it so that fighting type is nothing to worry about. The only type I really have to worry about big time is Grass, and then probably Electric, just because those are often special type attacks. Any special moves, and then, yeah, Grass is going to absolutely negate that ability. Oh, you two are friends. That's nice. How you're helping each other get better by competing. Okay, let's go. Who's this fiery red-haired man? Oh, why if it isn't Elisa? And it also just turned to afternoon, right in the middle of that cutscene. That's funny. Art festival's grand. Life should be enjoyed. Who's this man? I guess not afternoon, but evening, excuse me. This is Alder, the Unova region's champion. Champion? Why would the champion be goofing off in a place like this? I heard that remark. You're quite a judgmental young person, are you not? My name is Alder. I'm the Unova Pokemon League's champion. Pleased to make your acquaintance. For your information, I'm not goofing off. I'm on a voyage. I know every corner of Unova. I'm Cheren from Nuvema Town. My goal as a trainer is to become the champion. Traveling with a goal in mind is a commendable thing. And what do you plan to do after becoming the champion? What else is there other to be other than striving to become stronger? Strongest trainer, that's the champion. Becoming stronger. Becoming stronger, you say. Is that alone enough of a goal? It's not that I'm trying to say your way of thinking is wrong. In my travels, I've helped many people learn to love Pokemon. I think that's important too. If you play with those children, you might gain more of an understanding. You have a Pokemon battle with those two. Hey, you two, come here for a moment. Understood, but before that, fully healed my Pokemon. Thank you, Cheren. Yeah, I knew that was coming. That's why I wasn't really too worried about running over to the Pokemon Center, because we were going to immediately get that. I was hoping Naz could hold out in that fight, but eh. So we got 2 Herdiers, which I think are both packing Intimidate, which is going to be really annoying for his Lipard, but not so bad for Naz, who should be able to handle it no problem. And I am just going to be spamming Air Cutter this entire fight because of, 1, the double chance of getting that crit, but also because it's going to hit both of them every single time. Let's do it. And there is the Fake Out. That'll also keep one of them from moving, which is also nice. Thank you for that. Biggest benefit for Lipard. There is one of the crits. I knew we would get it. What do you have on you? You have a Citrus Berry. Interesting. Ooh, Crunch. That is brutal damage right there. Okay, hold on. Let's try another one. More Air Cutters, please. Don't you helping hand. Okay, let's see if we can take this thing out. Come on. Almost. The other one also has a citrus berry. Man, these things are a little bit tankier than I thought. These kids are actually kind of on the strong side. My goodness, I'm a little bit impressed. And a takedown. Oof. Are we getting another crunch here? Oh my gosh, that's a lot of damage. No, I guess the one used helping hand, so I guess that makes sense. That was yeah, that helping hand takedown was big. But it also put them both into position to get knocked out by my air cutter with ease. And Crush hits level 30. There we go. We beat Sarah and Billy. Pokemon's so cute. My Pokemon listened to what I said and fought for me. I think your doggies did great, kids. Nicely done. You didn't win, but that was a good battle. Your Pokemon looked like they were having fun. Young man, if there are people like you who pursue strength, there are also people who are happy just being with Pokemon. There are many different people and many different answers. When it comes to what a champion should be, you and I may hold differing views, but so be it. Give it some thought. Let's roll. The Driftvale drawbridge is just ahead. Champion is the strongest of the strong. That's all there is to it. All right, Cheren, well, off with you. It's tremendous that people in Pokemon, each so different, can acknowledge each other and be together. Sure is, Alder. Sure is. We will be following Elisa and Cheren a little bit later. I got one more stop to make before we call this an episode. Pokemon usually help me big, but today they'll help me battle you. I forgot that you were a trainer. Okay, well, I guess we're doing this as well, but I also wanted to head inside the trailer. And of course, you've got all the monkeys that I got to deal with now, too. Not what I was expecting to run into. I knew there's a lot of trainers on this route. I didn't think this was one of them. But, all right, let's take care of you. In fact, most of the dancing people to our immediate left were fit that bill. Okay, let me see. Can I take you out? I think it's gonna cause sleep anyway, so I'll have to do an awakening between episodes. That's okay. Down goes Pansear. And there is the sleep. What are you going to throw out next? You're going to throw out Panpour. Okay, let's switch on over to Arthur. And I'll just use a Mega Drain. Hopefully that's more than enough on this Pokemon. I don't need to use a Leaf Tornado here. Not that it matters too much. I mean, I know we got a lot of trainers to go through, but I think we'll still be fine. But I'm just trying to keep parity with the rest of my team, which is why I'm using some Pokemon more than others. I know a lot of people also get on me for that in these games. Just to kind of clarify, like, I'm always like, I always care about parity a lot, but I'm also willing to like over-level Pokemon for a little bit for the sake of not using them a lot later. It's all about cadences when you go through a Pokemon game, because Pokemon games generally have a tendency to throw a lot of the same Pokemon at you in certain areas. So like you'll get through areas where you're going to be running into nothing but like grass types and bug types and whatnot. So obviously you're going to want to be specifically using your fire or flying types a lot in that area. But then you'll run into another area after the fact with lots of water types, which means you can't use that fire type anymore, and the flying type might not be ideal, so you'd be switching off to your electric or grass types, and it's just, there's a cadence to everything. So sometimes I just use Pokemon for extended periods of time so they can get additional experience, and we're also, you know, currently working on making Crush a lot stronger, because while his nature is awesome, he is still the de facto weakest member of our team. No, I wanted to come in here. Hi, I am a humble maid. My master has a big heart to match his big belly. He's a gourmet, so I am looking for ingredients that will make his heart jump for joy. Oh, that aroma, it smells so gourmet. You have a wonderful ingredient in your bag. Would you consider it selling it to me? This lady right here, she is after mushrooms, specifically big and tiny mushrooms, and also balm mushrooms. Oh, it smells so good. That big mushroom uses a very rare ingredient indeed. Will you take 5,000 for it? That is double the usual asking price. I mentioned before that you want to save these mushrooms for a specific mushroom seller. This is the lady that you're wanting to talk to. Every single mushroom is sold for double their price. Let's also do the tiny mushroom, which, you know, it's only up to, what, 500? Because it's originally 250, but that's still really good. Now, balm mushrooms sell for a ton with her, and we'll be getting more balm mushrooms a little bit later on. But with all that said, guys, that is going to be it for this episode. Thank you all so very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it very much. In the next episode, we're going to be taking on all of the trainers here on this route, grabbing all of the items here, and hopefully crossing the drawbridge into the next city, Driftvale City. With all that said, thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all then.